Did you know? Dontnod Entertainment made a game before Life is Strange. You probably just never played it. I don't blame you, not many people did. According to Steam Spy, over 770,000 people own it. Okay, that's not that low actually. That's more than, let me just check. That's more than Nier Automata. Well, at least at the time of this recording. Hopefully that changes with the upcoming Steam sale that was totally leaked just like every sale before it. Remember Me is a third-person action-adventure game set in Neo Paris. The year is 2084 because sci-fi. And that's how you do it. You slap Neo in front of any current city to make it sound more futury. Neo Tokyo, Neo London, Neo Dildo. You play as Nilan, an amnesia-riddled memory hunter, which is a sort of bounty hunter but for people's memories. Okay, let me explain. So in this gleaming white future, everyone has Instagram stories implanted in the back of their heads, so their memes can be saved to the cloud. Only the cloud is in a giant server in Memorize, an evil corporation that wants everyone to forget traumatic memories and only keep good ones. Hell, the game even starts with one of those corporate ads.
Thanks to my sensen, I choose to remember every defining moment of my life. Good ones and the bad. Thanks to my sensen, my husband lives on. Here and here.
Which does immediately make me hate that company because it reminds me that Better Off Ted was cancelled after 2 seasons.
Viridian dynamics, right and wrong. It means something. We just don't know what.
So, Nilan, you have a magic glove that lets you remix, essentially alter people's memories to suit your needs. You can also use the magic glove to steal memories from people. Though they don't seem to forget those memories, so I guess it's more like memory piracy. At the start of the game, you wake up in a prison, La Bastille, and your memories are gone. All of them. An outside force known only as Edge helps you escape and guides you to regain your lost memories. And as is determined by dystopian sci-fi plot 11B, you have to take down Tyrell Corporation. I mean Memorize. That's the basic setup. There are some good, verging on great character moments for Nilan, but that would tread heavily into spoiler territory. The environmental and character art is gorgeous. Every flickering neon sign, every cobbled walkway that evokes old Paris, and some of the interiors with their stark white and orange color scheme. It's clearly a riff on the black and gold vision from Deus Ex Human Revolution. It's like a brighter reflection of a similar future, but in Remember Me's case, that shine only exists to cover up the problems beneath, much like how the populace chose to hide away their painful memories. I'm especially fond of the look of Slum 404. Yeah, I'll get to that. When you first reach it, it really hammers home the disparity between the have and the have-nots. A classic in this style of anti-corporate dystopian sci-fi. But then, because of budget constraints I guess, you get a lot of samey faux industrial or office setup levels that really suck you out of the 2084 experience. I mean, that level design is fine, but it's boring. Also, I just wish the music complemented the game better. I mean, no disrespect to Olivier de Rivière, I hope I pronounced that right, but when I see the visual design of the game, the music just doesn't fit for me. It's fine, it's serviceable, but when synthwave is of French origin, it seems like a completely missed opportunity to not get someone like Kavinsky or Perturbator to handle the soundtrack. Okay, here's an example. Here's this fight scene with the in-game music. and now with some perturbator slapped on top. Now, which do you prefer? Nilin is clearly the best character in the game though. Unlike the other players, she gets some proper development beyond the classic hero's journey. And what Dontnod have done, brilliantly I might add, I really appreciate this, is have Nilin not only be a woman, but also of mixed race descent. And it's never pointed out in an ostracizing manner, it's just a fact. And sometimes the best way to be inclusive is to render otherness as mundane. Her heritage does not inform her character or define it, it's merely an aspect of who she is. And as good as Nilin's characterization is, most of the story is, well, just kinda bad. Almost intentionally B-grade. Like these philosophical musings that Nilin has between missions. It just comes off as pure wankery, as if the writer responsible had just picked up a first-year university philosophy textbook and just cribbed some notes. And the names of things, oh my god, it's 90s bad. I mean, let's get back to it. Slum 404. Really? Really? And the resistance, they call themselves errorists, without a hint of irony. Although I think the errorists may just be like 4 people. You meet a wannabe hacker and Nilin fanboy, Bad Request, and of course there's Edge. Edge is the cringiest, angstiest little dick I've ever heard. It does make sense at the end of the game, which for spoiler reasons I won't go into, but it doesn't change the fact that he's super annoying. He's an angsty, millennial revolutionary type. I can't even describe how grating he is. So here's just some clips of him spouting his rhetoric.
Servers and free their stolen memories. Free your memories. This is where we rise from the ashes and fight back. Put an end to her reconversion project. Crush her errant beliefs. We must stop her from building an army of leapers.
All of it comes off as a little...
Fight the planet!
You know, and another thing. And now I'm just ragging on this game. The game is set in France, and it's developed by a French studio. So, why the hell does Edge have an American accent and most of the rest of the cast sound British? I mean, surely they could have found French voice actors capable of speaking English for that soundtrack. And this is one that irritates me to no end. If your game is set in a real-world geographical location, the characters should sound like they belong there. Sleeping Dogs did it. Far Cry 2 did it for their NPCs. Hell, even GTA 4 had me believing Niko Bellic was from some unspecified Eastern European country. It's a small thing, really, but it's one that takes me out of the experience a bit. I would have loved an option to use French voices with English subtitles, like how I played the Metro games with Russian voiceover and English subs. Holy crap, does that just make everything feel so much better. One thing you'll be doing a fair bit of in Remember Me is hand-to-hand combat, fueled by a rhythm-light, Arkham-ish system of light and heavy strikes. But the hook here is customizable combos, which is a bit of a misnomer. You can't customize the combo themselves. They follow the same inputs regardless. You know, light, heavy, light, heavy, light, light, heavy, heavy, light, light, heavy, light. What you can change is the effect of each strike, through what the game calls presence. There are 3 types of these: damage, heal, and cooldown. Damage, increasing damage; healing, well, healing you when you hit an enemy; and cooldown, which speeds up the cooldown of your special abilities. Of course, this tends to break the combat system somewhat, and it gets really easy to cheese your way through combat. Put 2 heals and a cooldown on the 3-hit combo, and boss fights, of which there are a few, become way easier. And most of them follow one rule: wait until you can use a special ability to summon them, and then attack. Which isn't to say the combat system is bad, it's actually pretty good. It's just really exploitable in that we didn't really think this all the way through kind of way, which is why I guess Dontnod's follow-up Life is Strange had exactly 0 combat. But with all that being said, Dontnod is a studio to keep an eye on. Each one of their games, in their relatively short existence, have all been wildly different affairs. From a cyberpunk action adventure to a story-driven adventure to the upcoming vampire RPG. Now this could mean one of two things. Either Dontnod just haven't found their niche yet and are still experimenting in terms of gameplay and visual styles, or they just have that many creative minds in their team that each concept demands that type of departure. I hope it's the latter, but I have this weird feeling that it might just be the former. After all, Capcom didn't option a sequel. Life is Strange Before the Storm was handled by another studio entirely, and Vampire has yet to come out, so I can't judge it yet. It may well turn out fantastic, having taken gameplay and narrative lessons learned from the previous games to create something extraordinary, but it could just as easily take all the wrong lessons and turn out like a Spiders RPG. So, in summary, remember me. I'd buy it on a discount to see which game Dontnod worked on first, but I wouldn't necessarily classify it as a must-play. So that'll just about wrap up this episode of Escape from Mount Backlog. Have you played Remember Me? Do you remember Me? Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and subscribe if you haven't already. If you are subscribed, remember to hit that notification bell icon to see when I upload more videos. And join us next time when we go even more narrative driven. Bye.